They're contract. Pay us. We want to get back to work. They're ready.
Respect fair wages.
She doesn't want to look. Turn around. There you go. Look at you. Look over there. Look. Look at the camera. She's not having it.
Give her a treat. Another one. She's had a whole bag almost.
Yeah, no. Oh, you're okay. I'm right here.
Oh.
You're okay. I'm right here.
All of them.
Yeah, she's about to open. She's about done.
Overstimulated.
This is malarkey. Smile, Matt, so you don't intimidate everybody.
They don't want to pay the game. They just want to take a list. Respect fair pay. One day longer, one day stronger.
It's very easily done.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I wish I'd have been there in person on that one. That would have been a fun one to actually watch and to hear and to see. It was fun. But I did, like I said, I did get to serve once a meeting yesterday. So that was one of the ones that was nice to see that they came out.
Yes, I still would love to see his face.
You better believe my name will be on the
Around like this. Well, when did they start letting them drive ISU vehicles as well? Because I saw the guy that was sitting next to Lee, I saw him driving yesterday morning.
Yeah, and he shouldn't.
If they're not vetted, that just means they can do whatever they want. I mean, just think about it. They're allowing anybody and everybody to step foot on this campus with the kids. So
Yeah. No
that's
background
the
check.
big one.
So sweet. Such a cutie.
I remember that show.
I see your finger over here.
This way. She's like, no. There's a camera. I won't look at it.
Camera shy.
Yeah.
That's a good angle. She said, get this side. It's my best angle.
I was gonna say, I think she's about done.
She looks like she's ready for nappers.
Yeah. So I'm
So
probably gonna drop
sweet.
her off and bring her back.
Yeah. Mark wouldn't let me bring my dogs.
Yes, I have a lot of my samples. Yeah, that'd be great.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2. We will be starting about 5 minutes late due to the weather.
Well, if you know you bring this, they'll quit raining.
You guys doing all right?
We're hanging in there.
Sure. Thank you. Oh, sorry, Matt. I keep getting you.
We appreciate you coming out here.
We appreciate you coming up here because I think we're going to start here so that we want you. This is perfect. Thank you. Just fill in here anywhere and.
Sure. Sorry, we're a little thin on the people today.
No, it's raining. I get it. I'm honored you're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate your support as well.
Miss Rose.
All right. Well, good morning. I hear every day from the people all over this state of Illinois about affordability. People are working harder and longer, and they have little to show for it. I want to say this as clearly as I can. Illinois workers should be able to afford to live in Illinois. Sadly, that isn't the case for too many families in our state. At Illinois State University, hundreds of workers, the people who clean the buildings, prepare the food, maintain the campus, and keep things running day in and day out, have been pushed to the point where they have no choice but to strike. Not because they want to, but because they had to. They have gone 2 years without a raise. 2 years while everything else in their lives has gone up. Groceries, gas, rent, utilities. Every single month it costs more just to get by. When it comes to your paycheck, it doesn't keep up with economic realities. You feel it everywhere. Your home, your health, and even your relationships with friends and families are affected. The stress that these workers at ISU are feeling right now is very real. And instead of fixing this, instead of negotiating in good faith, the university brought in replacement workers. Replacement workers whom the university is paying more than the union members who are currently on strike. The university is also illegally hiding information about wage claims. Friends, that's the wrong approach. It sends a message to working people that they're expendable. That if you speak up, if you fight for fairness, that you can simply just be replaced. I come from a background where people work with their hands, where you show up early, you stay late, and you do what needs to be done. Where a handshake means something, and where hard work means that your family doesn't have to struggle. These workers aren't expendable. They are the backbone of this state. This isn't about labels. This isn't about being pro-union or anti-union. This is about being pro-worker and pro-family. Workers need to be supported. They need to be respected. And they need to be paid in a way that allows them to actually live and not just survive. I've stood with workers before. When John Deere workers were fighting for a better deal, I stood with them because I believe in something simple. When the work gets done right, the people doing the work should share in the success. If an institution is running well, if it's growing, if it's succeeding, then the workers who make that possible should see that success reflected in their paycheck. That's fairness. That's respect, and that is common sense. Now, here's where leadership matters. Because while all this is happening, my question is, where's Governor J.B. Pritzker? Not here. He's not here helping these workers and offering true leadership to Illinois workers who need help. Instead, he's going on cable news shows to hype up his delusional presidential run. You can't claim to stand with workers and then disappear when it actually matters. You can't talk about supporting labor and then allow situations like this to drag on while families struggle to get by. But we shouldn't be surprised. This is the same J.B. Pritzker who used non-union workers to renovate his mansion in 2007. We know Pritzker can step in when he wants to. Let's not forget that he gave the university $87 million in taxpayer fund for its fine arts expansion project. In this instance, JB is willfully staying quiet while Illinois workers are being denied a fair wage. Leadership means stepping in. Leadership means bringing people to the table. Leadership means getting results. And right now, Illinois isn't seeing any leadership. Illinois State University needs to get back to the bargaining table today, right now. They need to stay there through the weekend if that's what it takes. They need to do the work. They need to have the tough conversation, and they need to find common ground. It's there. Above all, get it done. Let's get these men and women back to work by Monday with a fair agreement that reflects the value that they bring every single day, because Illinois doesn't run without them. And it's time we start acting like it. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you so much for your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll open it up for a few questions. Do you guys have anything? You're good?
Mr. Bailey, if you were governor, it has always been the thought that the Republicans were anti-union and that the left, or the Democrats, were pro-union. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think this is a strong message, and that's what I wanted to convey, that by no means am I anti-union, and the Republican Party certainly should not be considered anti-union. During my governorship, the door will be open, the table will be there, and I'll always be available for talks. Too many hardworking men and women's lives and work depends on it.
Yeah, we can do some off-topic.
I had one on the subject, sorry. ISU is kind of in a unique position this year just as far as having an enrollment increase just among the state universities in Illinois. This is the second strike from a major university in Illinois within the last month. For some of those universities who are experiencing enrollment decline or maybe budget cuts of some kind, if their employees were asking for a fairer wage or a more competitive wage, where would the state kind of stand as far as being able to provide state funding for state universities, or fair state funding for state
Well,
universities?
the universities right now as we speak are coming to Springfield and negotiating for what needs to be done. I believe there needs to be a lot of work on transparency within the university spending as well. What I know right now today, that men and women working for $16 an hour and not having a pay raise for the last 2 years, that's not right.
So, you talked a little bit about families all over Illinois working and maybe not making a living wage. What would you do to kind of help combat that and make working a little bit easier or make life a little bit easier from the financial standpoint?
Well, it's interesting that when this minimum wage bill was passed, that $15 an hour at the time was touted as a possible living wage, and we've seen the increase, the cost of living go up, and I place that right at J.B. Pritzker's feet and at the Democrats' feet, because they have allowed the gas prices to continue to go up. They have allowed our energy prices to spike. They've allowed all that, and they have allowed the continuation of property taxes, which makes people just refinance their homes after they pay it off, or it increases rent. So first and foremost, we need to double down and back it. I'm calling for an absolute bare minimum for Democrats, for Republicans to work together today, next week, for J.B. Pritzker to immediately suspend the gas tax for 90 days. I think that's a very fair start to give people some immediate relief. I'm calling for J.B. Pritzker himself to get to work and begin to push down property taxes, to begin to push down these utility costs that have skyrocketed. That's a bare minimum. That's simple. The people of Illinois need to understand. They need relief, period.
One last question on the Chicago Bears. There's been a lot of discussion at the State House. That seems to be a priority. What's your opinion?
Well, it's certainly become a priority, and it's unfortunate how that happened. It happened because for the last 6 years, as J.B. Pritzker received hundreds of billions of dollars of COVID money, he mismanaged it, he misspent it, he wasted it. All the while, states like Indiana managed it and spent it correctly. So that's why Indiana is in the driver's seat to be able to consider, luring the Chicago Bears to Indiana. Illinois can't afford to lose the Bears. But we've got to sit down and figure some things out. This plan that's out right now, it's way too hastily planned. And I would never support a plan that didn't give our people some tax relief, because ultimately this bill that's as it is introduced is only going to increase cost. It's only going to increase property taxes for the people of Illinois. So whatever comes of this bill, and it'll come at 2 a.m. on a Sunday night, and nobody will know what's in it, but there absolutely must be relief for the people and the families of Illinois.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you guys again. Thanks for
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it.
You can reach out.
Thank you for your call to have Republicans and Democrats work together.
I haven't always. I've struggled with that in the past, and I see that that's not working. We've got to unify. No more division. No more division. And I thank you, and I hope that you guys are there to keep me accountable as this process moves on. Okay?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Give us your number.
I think you're going to walk with
Yeah, we're going to have you
Okay.
walk it back to
Well, let me do this.
No. Thank you.
Reach out.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
He is an upcoming politician here, right here.
He's actually one of our strongest student supporters.
Yes.
I would have given you one.
Take